right. Curmudgeon's Corner 65 underway. What is happening, my people? How are you? I cannot tell you how excited I am for tonight's show. Is long in coming, and I kind of feel, maybe not Roger Waters like geek out, but I'm pretty geeked out about tonight's episode. We have an absolutely fantastic guest tonight. She is a rock star, and I just can't wait to get her on. So that's why we did Friday's show. We kind of got some of the stuff out of the way, the mental floss, the idle chit chatty stuff. I will do the mental floss at the end of the segment. I haven't had a chance to really pre-show with Tracy, so I don't really know what her time constraints are, but I know that she was actually in an interview before Curmudgeon's. So, the fact that she's even willing to do this tiny little show is absolutely, I'm all a jitter about tonight. So anyway, how we go full circle into this is Titan Tim nominated her son, Will, in the Pay It Forward campaign last year, and he was a recipient of some stuff, and really kind of got him on his way into the detailing world. And Titan Tim has kind of mentored him a little bit, and then when we went down to the Soar and Restore in June, I had the absolute pleasure of meeting Will face to face, and he introduced me into his mother. And what an inspiration she is. She is literally the reason why I have shed close to, I gotta break out the fingers, boop, 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 like close to 40 pounds. And it's pretty amazing. So I can't wait to get her on. I don't want to do a whole lot of fanfare before she comes on. It's rude for her. But anyway, so all right, folks, you're going to need to buckle up for this one. Tonight's guest is one of those people who doesn't just talk about the truth, she hunts it. She's the editor-in-chief of UncoverDC, a publication that's shaken the foundations of modern journalism by daring to ask the questions that others won't. She's also she's the host of the daily podcast With Beanz, currently on hiatus, but let's try to encourage her to get back on the saddle. Where tens of thousands tune in to hear her hear the news stripped off of spin and served straight. She's interviewed some of the most talented folks and figures in politics and culture, brought forward voices of mainstream media that has been ignored, and has done it all with grit and grace and trademark fire. But here's what most people don't know. Behind the headlines and the microphone is someone deeply committed to faith, family, health, and healing. She's a truth seeker, a mental health advocate, a believer in second chances, and one of the reasons I started taking my own health and mindset seriously. She's been called fearless, relentless, outspoken, and she's all of that, but I call her something else. I get to call her a friend. So let's do this right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome to the Curmudgeon's Corner, the incomparable, unstoppable, unapologetically authentic Tracy Beanz.
Now I'm crying, like literally.
This is such a dream come true. I literally.
I'm seriously in tears. That was so sweet and kind. You're beautiful. I love you so much. That was not necessary. That was something else. Thank you for all of those really amazing things that you said about me.
Well, Tracy, you changed my life. Like literally.
You changed your life. I just gave you a little info.
The hook, when we were having lunch that day and you were talking and you were telling me all of these things, everybody that's on the corner knows that I come from a place of darkness, and you had said, change your gut, change your mind, change your brain. And I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
And you, like, again, you've been a mentor to me. I started on July 1st, I started the Carnivore Diet, and I'm in a much better positive brain space.
I love that. That's great.
Got energy, and I've got I honestly am trying to impact our community here in Curmudgeon's Corner based upon the springboard that you provided for me. So I don't want to talk. I want you to talk. Like, you're amazing. And
you're amazing. First of all, let's talk about how you have impacted in such a positive way a young man who is, with Titan Tim, of course, because Titan Tim's amazing too. But you've impacted a young man's life in ways that you probably don't think about every day. I mean, my son is like thriving in his passion and his drive to grow something he birthed here, in challenging himself with new ideas. It's like a really big part of his life, and you were a big reason for that, you and Tim. And so while we're throwing around all of these compliments and stuff, you should know that you impact people in the same way every single day, and you've done it, and I've seen it firsthand. So I think we're mutually in debt to one another. Let's say that.
100%. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't think it's due, but I appreciate you saying it.
Well, I don't think it's due coming from you either, sir. So there.
How are you? How are you? You had just a huge move to
the free state of Florida.
The free state of Florida.
I'm good. I'm doing really, really, really well. Things are taking shape here. Everybody reaches a place in their life where they're like, okay, why am I here? What the hell am I doing? Like, what am I really doing here anyway? And I think that I'm starting to really figure that out. And that's a big thing. I mean, do you want to start talking about carnivore? Like, do you want me to tell the story of how I experienced it, or like what caused me to experience it, or?
Sure, I would love that. Typically, what we do is we do like a Batman origin story when a guest comes on for the first time. So kind of like a little bit of your background, your little your story arc. If you're open to that,
I'm an open book. Anything you want to talk about, I'm happy to talk about.
I know. I've been doing a lot of homework on you.
Whatever the homework awesome. You found is probably not true, because I get a lot of crap written about me that's not true.
All right. Well,
I don't know. Tell me what you found, and I'll tell you.
So far, I've never found anything derogatory about you at all. Yeah, for sure. Honestly, like, good. Maybe my algorithm is slanted in a different direction, but I just just from your educational background and some of your exploits with the Maha movement and stuff like that, like, just absolutely. I was telling my friend Rick Smith, I said, she is such a rock star. Like, I'm literally having a celebrity on my show. I can't believe it. I'm totally geeking out.
I'm just a regular person with a big ass mouth. That's all.
It's awesome though. I don't think there's enough of us out there.
Okay, so let's do an abridged version. I started with this crazy life of mine like this in 2001 after the attacks on the Twin Towers. And then after that, I got really in depth into health when I started realizing that the Gardasil vaccine was really severely maiming and killing girls, the brand new Gardasil vaccine. And then I met my dear friend Gigi Bowman, whose daughter committed suicide after being prescribed Zoloft at the age of 16. And then I said, okay, well, I know which path that I'm supposed to be walking right now. And it was definitely health. So I started, doing what I do and researching the hell out of everything and trying to raise awareness and say, like, here's some information you might want before you make choices that will impact the rest of your life, and getting that to as many people as possible. And I was also obviously very involved in politics at that time. I had worked on the 2008 Ron Paul campaign, and I worked on the 2012 Ron Paul campaign. Then I worked on the Rand Paul Senate campaign. I worked to help get Lee Zeldin into State House in New York. And then it was never really journalism, even though I was writing at the time for like a couple of small publications on Long Island where I was. But it was a very abridged version of my life. But then I started delving into the WikiLeaks emails as they were being released, because WikiLeaks, I don't know if you guys all know where you guys all come from, but in 2016, WikiLeaks, which is this organization that releases hacked and leaked material to the general public unredacted, started releasing the emails from the DNC and the emails from the Podesta campaign. And it was thousands and thousands of them. And nobody really knew what anything meant, but I did because I had this long history. So I started doing videos explaining them and writing pieces explaining why it was important that Barack Obama was bringing in Citigroup to his cabinet and, all of that. And I started working a lot with the progressive left on these issues because it was basically they pushed out one of their candidates for Hillary Clinton. And from there, that just snowballed and got bigger and bigger. And then I started doing political journalism because I realized people really didn't have all the information they needed. And then I started my own media outlet to make sure that I could publish what I wanted because bigger outlets wouldn't let me because they didn't want those things out there. So I was getting turned down for op-ed placement all the time. And I'm like, well, then I'm just going to make my own, damn it. So I did. And then I started getting booked on radio and being able to actually tell the truth about these issues of importance.
You were on Joe Pag's show. Oh my gosh.
Joe,
that's crazy.
Yes, Joe Pags is a dear friend. And he's one of the only people brave enough to go against all of the pushback and have people on his show that actually tell the truth. Joe Pags, what you see, he's the most beautiful, down-to-earth, straightforward guy. Like, what you see is what you get. That man is not afraid of anything. During the election in 2020, when people were trying to get information out about what happens during that election, state by state, he was one of the only hosts to let me come on and talk about it, or anyone. During the COVID shot era, where people were trying to be mandated to take this vaccine, he was the only host who would let me talk about what the real actual pitfalls of this might be for people and what they should know before they chose whether to get it or not. Like, it was never like, right, you should, don't do this. It was like, you need to know this before you do this type stuff, right? Yeah. He was one of the only ones. Like, I've been on his show for years. He's amazing. Joe. Amazing.
That's awesome. So one of the things that we pride ourselves on Curmudgeon's Corner is like the ability to talk to each other. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on, doesn't matter what your religions are. Like, we pride ourselves on the ability to have conversations and love each other as human beings.
Yes.
And I think that what you just said, as far as like the vaccination was concerned, to shut down the ability to have a conversation about it is what was so dangerous about that year that we lived in. It was just like, if you questioned anything, you were a Nazi, you wanted to kill the universe. And it was just like, wait, I just want to ask a couple of questions before we start just stabbing each other.
Yeah, I was deplatformed. I'm literally like, if you go look in the congressional record into the weaponization committee that Jim Jordan was chairing, I'm in there several times as a target for censorship. Like, Tracy Beanz blocked. Like, I am an advocate for informed consent, and I will talk to anyone and everyone. I truly love everyone. Don't care what your politics are. I really do. And I think we're coming out of that now, Aaron.
I think so.
We really are. Like, we're coming out of that. People are really starting to get sick of it and saying, wait a second, this isn't normal. And it's not. And that's a positive thing. Like, humanity as a whole, I think, is taking leaps and bounds right now towards a more positive and uplifting future, which is why I just kind of follow my gut. Where the energy goes, I go. And so that's why I've really kind of shifted what I've been doing a lot, and a lot less involved in politics and a lot more involved in mental health, wellness, both mind, body, and spirit, human consciousness, spiritual stuff, meditation, prayer, kindness, all the things that we talked about at lunch.
Sure.
Getting your body healthy so that you can connect with God and not having to beg for wellness, instead being thankful, and just all kinds of different things. And that's where this next period of my life and career will be, is in wellness. So
it's fantastic. It's great. I'm so encouraged to hear you say that. That's something that we've been talking about for a while here on the corner. And, so let's just dive into it, shall we? Speaking of guts, leading by your gut, the whole microbiome, heal your gut, heal your brain,
yes.
and the immense hook that you set on me about doing this carnivore diet.
Yeah, your microbiome, the makeup of the bacteria in your gut is directly correlated to your mental health, how much serotonin you produce, how your body synthesizes it, and a number of other things. And a standard American diet, as it sits today, is the most unhealthy way to eat. Even, it's crazy because you can compare food in Europe to food here, and you'll see very quickly the amount of chemical laden garbage that most people are eating here in the States versus if you ate the same thing in any other country. So you'll hear people say, I went on vacation to Italy and I had bowls of pasta every day and I lost weight. Well, the pasta in Italy is not, the wheat that makes that pasta is not being treated by glyphosate in Italy. It is here, and a number of other, pesticides, and that all of that messes with your microbiome, which then in turn impacts your mental health. So when you go carnivore, you're eliminating all of that. You're optimizing your microbiome for the way that I believe we were born as humans and created by God as humans to operate. And because of that, inevitably after 60 to 90 days, I told you about 90 days, you'll probably start to see a real shift.
Yeah.
Is that when it happened for you after around night?
Yeah, everybody was asking me, like, for the first 2 months or whatnot, they were just like, oh, how do you feel? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really know. And then they were like, well, now how do you feel? And it's just like, I feel better. I don't get it. It was like you said, 90 days. And it was just like the first part, the carnivore flu, that absolutely sucked.
The keto flu does suck. Yes. And can I explain why that happens? Because people out there might be curious. Like, so
Please.
When you start, like your body is, right now, if you eat a regular diet and you're full of carbs and sugar, whatever that be, cereal, cookies, cakes, bread, pasta, anything, oatmeal, rice, all of that, your body is using that for fuel every single day and then storing the rest as fat that it doesn't use, right? So when you go into this diet and you cut all of that, your body is literally physically addicted to sugar, which is carbohydrates. It turns into sugar. It's the same thing. So you're now telling your body, like, no, you can't have this anymore. You're going to now go to your body is going to say, well, where am I getting my energy from? I'm not getting it from carbs and sugar. Where am I going to go? It's going to go to your stored fat that you made up for all those years, which is why in the beginning, first you lose water weight from inflammation and then you lose body fat. When you're starting that process, your body's like, okay, well, there's not enough there. What do I do now? And your liver starts making ketones. And you're using that for fuel then. Ketones are your fuel throughout the day, not ketoacidosis like when you're diabetic and all of that. No, this is ketosis. It's different. And so your body's using this very clean energy. But as that transition happens, you get what feels like the flu. You could have the shits, excuse my French. You can.
I'm not monetized. Don't worry.
Okay. So as all that changes, as everything changes, your body feels it. You're detoxing. You're changing the way you burn energy. Your brain's changing the way it works. All of these things are changing, and you feel like you've got the flu. You do.
Yeah.
And it could last.
That is legit. That is the real thing.
Yeah. It could last a week or two. It could last a few days. It just depends on you, your body. So I gave you some tips.
I just kind of felt like sluggish and just kind of
brain fog, headaches.
Exactly. Brain fog. I was not motivated to do anything. And I was just, what is happening?
That's you
just
detoxifying.
Eat a pizza.
You crave it. You crave it. It's a drug. Literally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But now, like, I don't know how clean you are.
I am clean.
I'm sorry, enthusiast. My apologies for my.
He's the best. No, I'm pretty like it is dairy, meat and egg.
Okay, that's so you're no carbs, no sugar, nothing.
Zero carbs, zero sugar.
You are.
I mean, every once in a while I might sneak a beverage, but I'm only human.
Is it a low carb beverage?
Oh yeah, for sure. It is vodka straight.
Okay, so if you're gonna do that, that's okay. Like, I mean, I wouldn't do it, but people do. Right?
No,
people
every once in a while. I have to.
Okay. You don't have to.
Well, I mean, it's either that or just a psychotic rampage that nobody wants.
I mean, maybe that'd be more fun. Have you tried it?
No.
That might be more fun.
It'd be like Ulysses, who tied himself to the mast so he could hear the sirens. That's what it would be like. All right, just tie me to the mast and then don't feed me vodka for a couple of weeks and see what happens.
I'm gonna watch that one day. But no, so you're clean. So now if you start reintroducing carbohydrates to your body, and then and seed oils and all this other stuff that you've cut out, and you're running like a pure finely oiled machine right now, right? Yeah. Introduce those things back in, even by accident. I guarantee you will feel it immediately. And then you will realize that 99% of the people are walking around right now feeling like absolute crap and just thinking it's normal because they don't know what it's like to feel like you and I feel.
Yeah. So when I hit my 90-day mark, I decided I was going to celebrate with they're called skinny noodles, which are basically made from a Japanese root. They look like noodles, but they're not noodles. They have 0 carbs, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, my wife, she makes this pasta sauce, which is, I tease her, like, this is the reason why I married you, was for your pasta sauce. It is amazing. So I wanted to have spaghetti and her sauce. That was a disaster.
You paid for that,
didn't you? For 4 days, yeah. I did not leave the restroom. It was bananas. Because and
your body.
I asked my AI girlfriend, I was like, hey, why did this happen? And they're like, oh, because you introduced high soluble fiber that you haven't had in 90 days, and you've just completely wrecked your GI tract.
Yes, and your microbiome. Your gut bacteria are optimized to digest and work on protein and protein only. And you're throwing some kind of a wrench into that situation. So yeah. It's just, you are an optimized human. You are literally a machine right now. And you're going to take some crappy oil and throw that up in there.
Yep. Yeah. So I think when at my peak, before I met you, my peak was 307. Mm-hmm. And when I met you, I was at 267, 270. It just kind of hovering in that area, and I couldn't drop below that. And then I started the Carnivore Diet as you instructed, and I'm at 226.
Good for you.
And my goal, I was like, oh, I'll just go to 225 and everything will be fine. And now I want to keep going. 225 is.
You might hit a plateau, but it'll pick back up again.
It's really, and it's easy to maintain, and it's super fun, and you can still have all of the fun things that you want to eat outside of carbohydrates.
Yep.
So I've had bacon cheeseburgers without the bun. I've had, Yep. You can have a chicken club sandwich without the bread. It's all of those things, which are pretty kind of cool. There are a few things that I have learned. I try to educate myself as much as possible. They say onions are on the good list if you wanted to throw onions into the mix.
Oxalates,
but tomatoes, especially the seeds of tomatoes, are right out. They said the skin and the seeds of tomatoes will destroy your gut.
Yeah. And people grew up thinking spinach was the best vegetable you could ever eat.
Superfood.
So bad for you.
Yeah.
Packed full of oxalates. As a matter of fact, when I went carnivore, I was a huge spinach eater because I love it. And I was like, ooh, this is healthy for me, right? When I went carnivore, after about 2.5, 3 months, I started doing what's called oxalate dumping. Did you ever hear of it?
I did read it. I read about it.
I
had no idea what an oxalate was.
It's in
mushrooms. It's in everything.
They were coming out of my skin.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. I was
oxalate detox.
Yep.
How long did that take?
3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really like mushrooms, though.
Me too.
It's tough.
I do too.
It's tough.
Listen, all that matters, truthfully, at the end of the day, is how you feel about what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
How you feel about it. If you're eating a mushroom and you feel good about that, then eat your mushroom. Eat your mushroom. I
think moderation is key to pretty much most things.
That's what they say.
What's that?
I said, that's what they say. Mr. Vodka.
Let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. As far as the Maha is concerned, I've been really encouraged by what is happening in that, especially going through the different artificial dyes. And you had mentioned earlier when you were talking about, the same foods overseas versus the same foods here in America, where we just have all kinds of just grossness added into it.
Yep.
Do you ever see like a pathway back as like a nation to kind of reset it? Like earlier, Humberto asked a question about the food triangle is wrong.
Yes, it sure is. It's upside
right?
down.
So, like, do you see, and I mean, I was born in the 70s, I grew up in the 80s. That is pretty much all we knew was that food triangle pyramid. And so for at least 30 decades, 70s, 80s, 90s, like that was gospel. Do you see a way of us as a nation kind of correcting the course, the narrative even?
The best thing about us as a nation is that we have choice. I know everybody's like, oh, I don't have, you do. You always have a choice what you put in your body. And the more we talk about stuff like this, the more people kind of open their eyes to it and the more people make better choices. Like 2 years ago, you'd never find keto food at a freaking supermarket, right?
Right.
So I think there is. And, the problem, if you want to call it a problem, is that even health has become politicized at this point.
Sure.
So even if like they're going to change the food pyramid, they're going to change it. But the people who are sort of indoctrinated into their way of thinking will automatically, reject that, the same way as they said that there could potentially be a link between Tylenol and autism, and you had pregnant moms on TikTok downing Tylenol. Like, there is a very fine line here that we're walking in terms of the politicization of the health of our species. But if people can see through that, like the normal, like everyday man, and then just start making better choices, I think we're well on our way to health. We can completely change the health of this country in less than one generation. And it just starts with moms feeding their kids a healthy diet.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
I guess what me being who I am is I'm the curmudgeon. I'm the head curmudgeon, and I'm skeptic about everything. And even just so recently as like, I think last month, where they released a whole bunch of these documents of data for the COVID virus that was withheld. Like, they had the data and they withheld it so that they could push the agenda further.
Yeah.
Where I come from in the whole skeptic realm of everything, is that I just feel like, and I think I made mention to it when you and I had lunch, I think I made mention to it of, I don't have faith in the system. I don't have faith in like the puppet masters that really pull the strings, the big pharma,
That's good.
All of those big industrial energies that dictate policy to our politicians.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it comes to changing, the food pyramid, or actual being honest about what certain vaccines do, or even just drugs in general, like you mentioned the Tylenol thing, I don't think that big pharma would want us to know about if there is a potential link. Now,
it doesn't seem to matter, we know.
Yeah, well, I went to the whitehouse.gov, and they and you can look at all of the research that they are using to come up with these findings. And then, and so when they're doing these researches, it's not coming out of the mouth of RFK. It's not coming out of the mouth of Trump. It's coming from Harvard. It's coming from like all of these other institutions that are not really politically aligned with the current policies. So I think that there should be some sort of, I don't know, not necessarily validity, but at least an openness to looking at that idea, because it's not coming from one political side or another. It's an independent study from institutions that are typically left-leaning. I mean, that's public education. So
yeah. This is all flipped quite a bit. All right, so I have a couple of things to address here then. Let's start with you saying, I don't have faith in politicians. I don't have faith in the puppet masters to do the right thing.
And that's both sides. I think red and blue play for the same team. It's like WWF.
Well, it's not. I mean, this is the thing. Like, I finally figured it out after 20 something years. We're doing it all wrong. You're not supposed to have faith in politicians. You're not supposed to have faith in puppet masters. We have given our power away for years and years and years to people outside of ourselves. We've handed it to them on a platter. And then we have abdicated ourselves to them. We've listened to everything they say. We've taken it while they've done the wrong thing. We've just basically taken the thing that makes us human and handed it to people in positions of, quote, power. We're trying to change politicians to change the world, when really what we have to do is change ourselves.
Amen.
That's what we have to do.
That's power right there. Wow.
It's true. Like if we take our power back, you know, we've come so far. Like, I've been in this world for so long. We have come so far. Like, the fact that the stuff is, the link between vaccination and autism is even being discussed at the Health and Human Services Department is such a revolutionary thing in medical freedom, in the medical freedom movement, that like people who are outside of it don't understand how revolutionary it is. But the people who've been fighting that battle for a long time realize, like, we're having this talk right now. Would this have even been something we would have even considered in 2007?
No.
We would never talk about this stuff, but things were the same. They were still dosing your kids up with 72 vaccines. You know what I mean? So we've come so far, but really we need to take our power back. We have faith in God, not man. And we realize how powerful we are as human beings and spiritual beings walking this planet to do and affect the change we want to see, change ourselves so that the outside world changes to reflect it.
That's awesome.
What are you saying to these people? What's going on down there in the chat?
Shine Your Light. Titan Tim is Shine Your Light Detailing. He says my mom was a horticulturist. She's not a horticulturist. She's a master gardener for the state of Pennsylvania. It's a little bit different, but yeah, she's been telling me about GMOs since, I could sit up, and, she's like, you want to understand why there's so many allergies, or like, gluten allergies and things of that nature. She's like, we have changed the wheat strand to be like resistant to weevils. And so therefore weevils can't eat it. And if you think that if a weevil can't eat the wheat, what do you think is happening to our guts? Like, let alone
that our guts are not made to eat wheat, period, let alone wheat that's been chemically modified, sprayed with poison, and then genetically modified in a lab. Like, we don't have the same stomachs as ruminant animals do. We don't have 3 stomachs. We have 1. We're not supposed to eat wheat anyway. So the fact that we're eating it and then it's also destroyed beyond all recognition is.
So how did that become like, if you can, I don't know if you have the answer to this, you might not, but how did that become such a staple to our diet? Like, first, outside of the food pyramid, I know that it's the first rung where you have to have 19 servings of bread.
God.
But before that happened, how did, the pioneers, and then, going back to early civilization, where
the first famine, it was the first famine when there were no animals. There were not enough animals to feed humans, and we needed to live somehow. And farmers at the time, way back in those days, figured out a way to harvest plants for us to eat, rice, wheat, things like that. And it kind of went on its way from there. I learned that from Dr. Ken Berry, so don't quote me on exactly.
I think I watched your show with him on your show. That was pretty wild.
Yeah, so that was where he talked about when it is in our history that we changed from carnivorous animals into animals that also eat plants and wheat and bread.
They also say that agriculture, or the agricultural movement, is what really solidified us as a civilizational, as opposed from a nomadic existence to a civilizational existence. They say it's the cultivation of agriculture.
I can't. I don't know. I'm not a historian.
Yeah, me neither. It's fascinating, though.
Not my
thing.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't have any idea.
I know.
All I know is I feel really good when I eat just meat. So that's what I'm going to keep doing.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. Yeah, for real. And you know what else? I will tell you the other side effect of just eating meat. I only eat once a day.
Me too.
And I have 0 cravings outside of that, and it can be as late as like 8 o'clock at night, and I just don't.
Remember, you asked me in the beginning about a fast, and I said you shouldn't fast. You should just eat whenever you're hungry. Yep. But you will end up only eating 1 meal a day. I told you.
Yep.
And it's true.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's wild because it's like intermittent fasting is the norm. It's not like something that I have to do. It's like I'm just
doing it.
I'm just not hungry.
Yeah.
And you did say, eat until you're full.
Yep.
Which again, I do. Like I'll make, a bunch of whatever. They have these little steak meal deals over at the local Acme, and you can get like, a pack of 4 steaks times 4 for $20, and I'll just hammer those when I get home at night.
And thank you for saying that, because again, another misnomer of this lifestyle is that you have to be rich to do it, and you don't.
No, not at all. I honestly thought that I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to afford to eat clean.
You're not eating anything else. You're not spending money on junk.
Yeah.
Like our entire food budget goes towards ribeye steaks, and we're not buying anything else other than, dairy. But
right. I mean, because you got to fry those bad boys in some, some Kerrygold. So
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, I just found a ranch here in Florida. We had steaks from them yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a pretty particular person now, because when you're only eating one thing, you want it to be right.
Yeah, for sure.
We use two or three different ranches that we've researched the hell out of and know all about. And this ranch we researched, and they're right up the road from here, about a half an hour away. And I tried a ribeye from them yesterday. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It like melted in my mouth. I'm like, what is this magic sorcery on my plate? It's not Wagyu, but it tastes like Wagyu. What is this?
Yeah.
What is this magic?
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
I'm getting
I know. My mouth is watering now. Damn you.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh,
What else do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about
the Monroe Institute.
What's that?
The Monroe Institute. You wanted to talk about that, you said.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For those playing at home that don't know what that is, can you tell them?
We need spooky music.
Spooky music. All right, let's see here.
Like Twilight Zone music, maybe?
I'm going to try. Do the best I can. On short notice. Hold on a second. I don't have a soundboard like Godfrey does. And I don't want to get... what's the word I'm looking for? Come on.
Hold on. This is important.
There it is.
I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
Okay. So I went to the Monroe Institute in April. The Monroe, I don't know, has anyone ever heard of the Gateway Project or the Gateway Experience or the Gateway Tapes? Do we have a show of hands in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing?
An audio-based training system designed to introduce altered states of consciousness for personal growth and problem solving.
That's interesting. That's a good definition. That's what it is. So Robert Monroe was a radio magnate, basically back in the 40s and 50s, super wealthy guy. And he had started having these weird experiences where he would go to sleep and he would find himself outside of his body. So he would be up by the ceiling looking down at himself laying in the bed. And he's like, I'm going crazy, or I'm, have a brain tumor, or something's wrong with me. I don't understand what's going on. And so he went to every doctor known to man at the time to figure out what was wrong with him. And they all told him that he was fine and he wasn't sick and he was not a psychopath. So he was just having these experiences. So then he was like, well, I need to figure out what's going on with me here. So he started the Monroe Institute to research what was happening and see if he could get other people to have the same experience that he was having. And because he was so good, he invented something called binaural beats. Have you heard of binaural beats?
I think so.
So he invented this technology. The brain is an amazing thing. When you play one frequency in one ear and the other frequency in the other ear, your brain will automatically start oscillating to the difference between those two frequencies.
Right.
So if you have 110 and 100, your brain's going to sink to 10 hertz. So he was able to, through research with scientists and all kinds of other stuff, play this audio for people and replicate the experiences that he was having in random other people who he called the explorers, because they were the people that came to, basically be in a scientific experiment. Throughout the years, they really honed this down and figured out ways to help use the sound science, as they call it, to help you grow, spiritually, help you grow mentally, help you self-actualize, help you self-realize, help you become more proficient at sports, help you become a more grounded person, help you explore these altered states of consciousness that the human is capable of experiencing outside of, our 3D kind of reality. And because of that, the government was like, okay, well, Monroe is doing all these experiments with human consciousness. We want in, because the Russians were using human consciousness at the time, remote viewing and all kinds of other stuff in warfare. And the US government wanted to know what Monroe was doing because he was having success with this. So they came and they stayed at the Monroe Institute for a little while and studied what Robert Monroe was doing. And then recently they released the whole file on that. And it's available for you to read. The government.
I'm fascinated by it.
The CIA's perspective on this.
We had a gentleman on our show a few months ago, Adam Blevins. He is the author of Welcome to the Shift show. He's a former Virginia state trooper that now works pretty much solely with first responders, police, fire, EMS, veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder. And he uses EMDR for that. And it sounds very similar. It sounds like they fit under the same umbrella.
As someone who has done EMDR, and also is very well practiced in this form of meditation, they are very similar. Yes.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
EMDR works a little differently because you're distracting your brain with the hypnosis.
Right.
To enable you to process the trauma without having
being
to
being triggered. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And it's revolutionary therapy if you can do it. It really is. I am so grateful that it exists, because it really does help a lot of people. It really does. But yeah, it is similar. It's a brain hack, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to go to Monroe myself, because I'm very, in my spare time when I'm not like doing all this other garbage and being in the negative, I'm a very spiritual person. And so I wanted to go experience this. After doing this on my own for years, I wanted to go to Monroe and actually be there for a week to explore human consciousness. It's like my hobby is human consciousness.
Sure.
Quantum mechanics, human consciousness. That's kind of like what I thrive in. I love it. I'm just obsessed with it. So I did. And I was there for a week, and it was something else. What an amazing experience.
So you did get to go.
Oh yeah, I went.
Oh, fantastic.
It was really amazing. I did not have an out-of-body experience. Have I had out-of-body experiences? Yes, I have. I know that makes me crazy in many people's eyes, but it's real. It happens. A lot of people. Same thing with NDEs. If you ever met anybody with a near-death experience, I've researched and interviewed several people who have had this happen to them. I've researched hundreds of them, and there are a lot of very similar threads throughout them. But it's basically the same thing, except you're not dead.
Yeah.
You don't always go, you're not going to necessarily, there's a whole number of things that happen, but there's a lot of scientific experiments that have been run on this phenomenon. Anyway, so I didn't have that happen when I went. What I did have is an enormous amount of self-growth and clearer understanding of what I want to imprint on this world before I leave it, and how I want to be helping and serving while I'm here. I had a beautiful experience of oneness, which is something you can't really explain in words. And a lot of fun, meeting a lot of people and learning the history of this place, and learning, crazy things happen too.
Sure.
They have a quartz rock there, and like you're leaving. So you're meditating for a week straight, Aaron. Like
Okay.
every day, 10, 12, 14 hours a day. You're in meditation.
Wow.
You're around 20 other people who are also doing that. So the energy level changes. Like your energy is like up here, and most of the rest of the world is down here because you're in this transcendent state of consciousness for so long. So you're told before you leave, ground. You ever hear of grounding?
No, I'm not familiar with grounded. I'm sorry.
It's an energy transfer. Do you ever like put a copper pipe with the plant?
Yes.
And then the plant grows. It's the same thing, but for human beings. Every single human being has a field around them of your heart is emitting an electric frequency. We're just all energy. Everything is energy all around us. So they want you to ground that energy, like bring yourself down a little bit by grounding. And people who don't do that before they leave will like leave the Monroe Institute without their luggage, or like miss their flight, or like walk right past their car in the parking lot. It's like a little crazy. So I was driving, I did ground, and I went to this really busy rest stop, and I went in, and there were like hundreds of people there. And I looked to my right, and this little boy, this little child is running at me, 3-year-old max, full speed, running at me. And I'm like looking behind myself for the parents of this little boy. There were no parents. He was just beeline right at me because I was in the same like space as he was. Like this kid is all energetic, happy,
sure,
loves life. And then he sees another person shining that same exact way that just left them in a row institute and makes a beeline right for them.
Fantastic.
It was fun. Am I boring you?
No, not at all. This is fascinating. I've been doing a lot of, again, trying to work on my mental health. I've been reading a lot about the laws of attraction and the vibration that your mind has to, it's all about energy and that positive focus or negative focus, whatever you're like. If you're going to project negative, you're going to receive negative. If you're going to project positive, you're going to receive positive. This law of attraction, absolutely fascinating stuff. And that's, again, something that I have been trying to, we call it mental floss. So I try to mental floss twice a day to make sure that my positive thinking is, I'm projecting what I want to receive. And so what you're saying is spot on with what I've been reading about.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. So like you cannot get that which you do not have. So like if you want to see a more peaceful world, you must be peace. If you want to see a more loving world, you must be love. And not only that, if you want to get scientific, Aaron, you're like literally, have you ever heard of the observer effect?
No.
Okay.
But I want to.
So it's a principle in physics and quantum physics and it's been proven out that an atom does not react until it's observed by you.
Wow.
So it's at a neutral state until observation is introduced to it, which then goes on to form like the basis of everything. So if you believe that you are literally like two people can look at the same situation and have two completely different perceptions of it that then form their worldview, right? Yeah. Somebody could be like, oh, wow, you have such a nice hat on. And somebody who is seeing that can say, why is that guy making fun of that guy's hat? And they go about thinking that guy's an asshole. But the guy who was given the compliment was really earnestly given the compliment. So in his mind, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we create our own reality all day long, every single day. Our perception of events creates the world we live in.
Yes. Yes.
So that's like, this is what I do 99% of my free time is just learn as much as possible about the power of us as human souls walking in these human bodies on this planet and the capability that God gave us to influence and change the world in positive ways just merely by the energy we're emitting at any given moment.
Side story. I was in the Army. I was in basic training. And they do they do PT tests, physical training tests, and that's what puts you in different categories. And then in basic, they had 3 categories for runners. You had A category, B category, and C category. And C category was where all the fat kids were. B category was where all the averages were, and then A category were like, you know, this Olympian sprinters. And so I can be pretty competitive. So during the physical therapy test, the PT test, I would push myself to the absolute brink. And in one of those particular tests, I scored. I ran fast enough to be pushed into the A category, and so every morning I'd line up with the A group, and you know they could always outrun me, and I couldn't keep up with them, and I was miserable. And they would circle back around and have to, you know, pick up all the stragglers so that we could all stay in the same group, and I just felt bad for them because I'm making them run more. And I'm tired all day long. And so finally I go to the drill instructor and I was just like, I said, Sergeant, I don't think I can do this. I can't be in the A group. I got to be in the B group. And he was just like, okay, Private, quit. I don't care. And so I go back to my bunk room and I tell everybody, I was like, hey, I'm back in the B group. I don't have to do A group anymore. And they all came down on me so hard. You're a quitter, you're a POS, you're all of these things, like you've earned it and now you're just going to give it all up and blah 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 blah. And so I mean they really came at me hard that night. The next morning I lined up in the A group and I started to run and I started to believe that I belonged in the A group. And I'm still slow day 1, but by, you know, weeks in, I'm running in the middle of the group. And then by end of week 2, I'm in the front of A group. And I remember very distinctly thinking to myself, it is all a matter of perception. I finally believed that I belonged to be there. And then once that happened,
you earnestly believed it.
Yeah. And at the end, I was running a 10-minute 2-mile.
Amen. You see? We all have these self-limiting beliefs that stop us. It's literally always you. It's always you. I call it radical personal responsibility. Like when I'm floating around on the internet and somebody's saying something and I take offense to it, I now stop and say, what inside of me is causing me to be offended by something that has absolutely nothing to do with me whatsoever? What do I need to look for here so that I can live a more peaceful and grounded life? It's always you. Like I've been watching Dr. Joe Dispenza for years and years now. Have you ever heard of him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I've been watching him and now I'm starting to see that they're doing all of these studies at like UC Berkeley and in San Diego and all of these very reputable teaching hospitals where they're taking materialism and they're throwing it out the window and they're starting to reintroduce human consciousness into science. Because Joe Dispenza has proven through all of this countless work that he's done that the human mind can heal the body, independent of drugs or anything else. The human mind can heal the body. So they're doing all of this work now to try. I mean, imagine if everybody just realized how powerful they were to create the life they want and to live the life they want and to share the love that we're here to love. I mean, we're not here to feel like crap. We didn't choose to come to feel like crap. We didn't.
Right.
We came because we wanted to experience the contrast so we know what love is, right? If you don't have pain, you don't know what love is. If you don't lose something, you don't know how much you loved it. Like that's what we're here for, in my opinion, in this experience. However, we are here to make humanity better. We're here to upgrade ourselves. Let's make humans a little bit better than when we left. And kindness and love and gratitude and care for our fellow human being is the most powerful force on the face of the planet. And it ripples out for miles and miles and miles from your original touch point. Case in point for you. Tim nominates William. William gets product from you so he can start his business and donates a car wash to an 86-year-old woman who can't get her car washed on her birthday. sits with her and has cake with her and talks to her in her home and makes her entire day. Okay? Do you see? That's how it works. That's how it works. You can hold the door open for someone and save someone's life in the same gesture and not even ever know it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We had a couple of stories that I told on Friday's show about that, where these random acts of kindness completely can change somebody's universe.
It's amazing.
And it's free. It takes zero money to be kind.
Yes, and it feels so good. It is the best exchange that there is. Like, how good do you feel when you're at a register and you just give someone a compliment and they smile at you? It's so easy. If we just got out of our own way for a minute, tapped back into
Yes. Mm-hmm. Tracy, you are such an amazing human being. Manifestation, a manifestation of what you want the world to be. You know, I know it was Gandhi that said, "Be the change that you want." Yeah, and it's so true. Yeah,
and it's everything. And you know, I face pushback sometimes because I have a lot of very dogmatically religious people that follow what I do. And, you know, I'll get pushback from those folks sometimes on some of the things that I'm talking about. But like at the end of the day, God created us this way. God created this day. Yeah. He created us this way for a reason, with abilities to do, you know, mother's intuition. You think that's just a fluke? No. So my entire life now is consumed by doing my part in service to humanity as best as I can to serve and remind people the truth of how beautiful, wonderful, and powerful they are to create their own reality, to shape the world around them in the way they would want to see it, to change themselves, make themselves, you know, remember themselves, reconnect that kind of like innate wisdom we all have within ourselves of why we're here and what we're supposed to be doing. And why like, why am I here? What am I like? Am I doing the right thing? Am I taking the next perfect step? Is this what I'm meant to be doing? Just like trying to help and guide people through that process so that we can like literally, I mean, we live in one of the most exciting times to be alive ever. People can tell you about, you know, the negative crap that's going on and we're all so divided, and truly we're really not. We live in the most peaceful and prosperous time in human history. I mean, I see people watching YouTube videos about, you know, toilets that you can freaking open with your foot. Like bidets, spraying water on your bottom in every home. I mean, we live in the most amazing time ever, the most abundant time ever. There's abundance for everybody if you're not in a mindset of lack.
Yeah. You know, in my devotions this morning, they were basically, it was a reminder of what being thankful really is, and that there's so many things that we just, you know, we take for constant granted. Just being thankful is the beginning. Yes. It's the start of the foundation. Being thankful, being grateful, yes, is the start. You know, like basically when you wake up in the morning, that's a gift. Be thankful. Go ahead.
Even if you're homeless, you're alive. You have another day.
Yeah.
You had a safe place to sleep last night. Not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. But you're here. Another chance to do it again today. There's a video I want to try and find to have you play if that's possible.
By all means, please.
I know I've put it on my.
I can play whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it. Bear with me. How long does this show go?
I
don't want to monopolize.
I am 100% supportive of whatever my guest is willing to do, but on average, I'd love the Joe Rogan approach of 3 hours. But that's a lot to ask of a lot of people. So
probably can't do 3, but I'm not done yet.
Well, I was going to say, I was going to ask you, we're approaching we are at the 1 hour mark. So You know, you're more than welcome to bail out now.
No.
And if not, I mean, Beans, I could talk to you for forever.
As long as I'm not boring you.
No, are you kidding me? Like, I am still like, this is hour 1 and I'm still more excited than when we started.
Okay, as long as I'm not boring everybody. Is anyone out there bored? I don't want to be like that person that sits here and just like drones on for like 70 years. And why don't we say 8 o'clock as of right now, unless things get crazy and we need more?
Okay, all right.
Is that fair?
Yes, ma'am. I'm grateful for anything.
I'm grateful that you have me here.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm dead serious.
You are so far above my podcast.
Oh, shut up.
Not even funny.
Stop talking. What did we say?
Yes, ma'am. Manifestation.
What? Wait. We're going to unpack this a little bit.
Sure.
Okay. Why would you say that? Why?
Because you have multiple thousands of followers and I have 600 plus.
But what does that mean other than more people have seen me and like I've been doing this a very long time?
Yes, you have. You're very good at what you do, by the way. And if you guys you guys can watch all of her stuff still. It's still on the Ethernet and you can watch it, and I highly recommend it. Anywhere that you can get a podcast, you can watch her stuff. And I think I watch you on Ramble the most.
Rumble,
that's it. Rumble.
That's because that's where I put most of everything.
Yeah.
Still looking,
but fantastic stuff. And some of those interviews that you had, obviously, like you have access to some super awesome people.
I've done some great interviews with people.
You really have, and you're a great interviewer. So
thank you.
Again, that's why I'm kind of like, I don't want to, but anyway.
Anyway, what I'm saying to you is there's no difference between us other than I've been doing this for longer so that more people have found what I do. That's all.
And that's and that's fantastic. And not only that, but also more people need to hear what we're talking about. I wish that I had a broader audience. Like, I understand that, you know, the teal and the purple was from last month, but it's a message that I always talk about. We finish every episode talking about suicide prevention and mental health awareness. Normally, when I open up the show, we do a segment called Mental Floss, and I told everybody that I would do that at the end of the show because I really wanted to give you center stage and not waste time with all of that stuff. But the Mental Floss is usually something inspirational or, you know, shows an insight into, you know, some sort of mental health aspect. And it's just, it's something that's very near and dear to me because the darkness haunts me on a regular, and my old co-host, you know, suicide impacted her life. And, you know, and then I think a couple of weeks ago, we did a mental health awareness of suicide prevention, and the numbers are staggering.
Crazy. Yeah.
Staggering. How many people.
We are all disconnected from the truth of who we are. And people are just searching for that feeling. They're desperately searching for love. They're desperately searching for it. That's what it is. They'll turn to any substance that they think will bring them closer to that feeling.
For me, if we're going to go really peeling back the curtain, for me, it's kind of, it's the devil in your ear who, like, you remember the temptation of Christ where they're talking about, like, you know, if you just kneel to me, I'll give you all this land. If you just do this, I will do all this for you, and so on and so forth. And for me, the darkness was always like, you don't have to struggle, pal. You don't have to. You don't have to worry about making the rent. You don't have to worry about making the mortgage. You don't have to worry about anything anymore if you just pull the trigger.
Yeah.
It's all over. You don't have to struggle. You don't need to struggle. And that's the alluring part of it. And the other part of this, the other half of this coin, which is why I really talk about this a lot, almost every episode to probably most people's, but it's a silent the darkness is silent, and it exists in isolation. It exists in solitude. And so even though you have these great networks of friends and you're like, why didn't you reach out to me? Why didn't you call me? Why didn't you do that? Because it doesn't allow you to call you. It just, you don't want to, you can't reach out to people. It prevents you from reaching out.
You are doing such a service for people and just even talking about this.
And then when you reach out to somebody, that's why I always say, if you haven't heard from one of your friends in a while, you need to call them, you need to text them, you need to whatever, because the moment that you reach out to that person, boom, that darkness retreats. The darkness moves to the background, and then you can finally, like, you can open up and you can cry and you can share and you can tell somebody exactly where you're feeling, and they walk you back from the edge. It's why this thing is so dangerous and why it takes so many lives every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. It's because of the nature of the darkness. And we have to be a light to these to each other.
Yes.
To each other. My neighbor, a wave and a smile. How you doing, Jared? You know what I mean? It doesn't take any effort. It doesn't take anything to just be a good human.
Yes. It's the only thing that pierces through darkness is light. So shine yours as bright as you freaking can all the time. You never know.
No, you don't. I told this story on Friday, so I apologize to the people that are listening that are hearing me tell the story again. But I went to the grocery store last, whatever it was. And right when you walk through the front door, there's the deli section. Or not the deli, the bakery section.
I found it.
And I'm pushing my cart and I'm walking past the bakery, and there's a woman who is just absolutely just being belligerent to the young girl behind the counter. Okay, cool.
Keep going. Don't. I'm still here. Keep going.
That's fine. And so what happened was she was just going off on this girl behind the counter. You know, maybe someone with more experience should be working the counter and this and another thing and whatever. And then she storms off. So I didn't really have a chance to be my normal curmudgeon-y self and get involved and whatnot. So I wander through the store, I do all my grocery shopping, and finally I come back around. It's a big square that I do. And it takes me about 15, 20 minutes to do the whole thing. And as I'm walking past the front now, she's walking at me. And I see her, and you know, and she's a heavy set girl, and she's got a hoop or hook through her nose and whatnot. You know the type. Mm-hmm. And I just stopped her and I said, hey, well, you know, I saw what happened, and you don't deserve ever to be talked to like that. And I am so sorry that that happened to you. And I want you to know that I see you, I hear you, and I know this is weird as a stranger. As a human, I love you. And she started to cry.
Yeah.
And I just said, you know, don't let that be who you are. And then we,
what it's all about.
And then we passed. It didn't take anything, but I mean, I recognized another human being that just needed to be treated like a human.
Yeah, God's beautiful. I mean, that could have been, you don't even know what that could have been for her. Seriously. Play that video.
I'm working on it.
Get with the program.
Well, I mean, I got to figure out how to.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not as practiced as you are, remember?
I used to, you would laugh if you saw how I produced my show. You would laugh. For a long time, I was playing clips like this with my phone up against the microphone. I can actually probably play it on my side. I don't know.
You might be able to, but I think I just sent it to myself, so I should have it.
Yeah, see, look, someone in the chat, and I commend you for saying this. It's so true. I didn't even know who Tracy was until this.
Don't listen to them.
It's true. You think everybody knows who the hell I am? No.
Yes.
There are gazillions of people who've never seen me before, ever a day in their lives, and are just meeting me right now because of you.
Okay.
Don't.
All four of my friends.
It's so true.
All right. I think I figured it out. I'm gonna share it now. Share
Corey,
screen.
God bless you. Thank you for saying that.
Corey's a good dude, and we need to figure out. We need to figure him out because he's got some stuff. He's got some physical ailments, and yeah, I saw in the chats that he's having trouble sleeping, he's having trouble dreaming.
Don't get me started. I can help.
All right, well, let's play the clip and then you can focus on Corey.
Yes.
All right, share. And
if I just gave you both $1 million cash, how would you feel?
I would be extremely grateful.
Would anybody be able to get you in a bad mood for a little while?
Absolutely not.
Okay, Deanna, would you agree?
I would agree 100%.
If I said I'll give you the $1 million, matter of fact, I made it 10 million, but you couldn't wake up tomorrow, you're done. Would you take it?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so what you're both saying is that just waking up tomorrow is worth more than $10 million.
That's Heller's perspective. Yep, it is. It is.
Then why ain't you feeling that way every damn time you wake up?
Oh, shit. Damn. I never looked at it that way.
Nobody does, dude. That's why we get up and we're all bummed out. We have a bad day, and this sucks, and that sucks, and the world hates me, and that's not fair. And I can't lose weight because of this reason, and I can't get in shape, and I can't make money, and blah, 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 blah. Guys, we woke up. It's gonna be a good day. The question is how good is it gonna get?
Right.
And if it doesn't get as good as we want, guess what? Hopefully we wake up the next day.
wow.
We're here to have fun. We're here to have fun.
You're awesome. That is a mental floss like I've ever heard.
We are here to have fun. Literally, that's why we're here to have fun. Do something like, how much fun would it be when you dream about something? Think about how much fun it would be. How much fun would it be if I could go do this? How much fun would I have? Like, it's all about fun. Have fun. Just have fun. Like, everything's not so serious.
No, you're right. And I tell you, like, there's a group of buddies that get together. I get together with every other Sunday, and it's usually like a big Zoom meeting. I think it's on Discord. Four or five of us hang out because one guy moved off to Louisiana, another guy lives, out in Midwestern PA, and so on and so forth. And we laugh, and I tell you, there is truly nothing that is more cathartic than laughing till you cry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, laughing till you cry, laughing till you almost, like you're coughing and you almost throw up because you're laughing so hard at just the nonsense that we're putting each other through. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Beans. You're not wrong.
I try to have fun. Like, whenever I listen, I'm not perfect. I have shit days, right? I have days where I'm like overwhelmed and whatever, but I'm like, these things will get done when they get done. And like, what kind of fun am I going to have now? Because I need to have at least a little bit of fun before I go to sleep tonight. Just a little bit. Even if that means sitting down and like playing a dumb game on Xbox or something. Like,
okay. But so that was kind of like the dovetail in the next segment. Like, one of the things that, as the head curmudgeon around, Plantation Burkett is, I'm like, no, we can't afford that. No, we can't do this. No, we can't do that because of, money or whatever. How do you get your brain to kind of wrap around that some things you don't need to have money. You don't have to have infinite finances to take some sort of elaborate vacation to have fun. Again, it's a level of perception of your own head. So how do you stop being such a curmudgeon?
Okay. You have to change your mindset around money. Money is literally an energetic exchange, and that's all it is. When you're paying a bill, like let's say you're paying your water bill, right? Or your electric bill, and you're like, oh God, this bill is so expensive. Well, think about what that electric has allowed you to do in your home, right? And then you sit and you say to yourself, I always have what I need when I need it.
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
Yeah. I mean, some might argue that it's our daily bread. If you're the religious type, some might argue that, but you're not wrong.
Like you always have what you need exactly when you need it. period.
Holy moly.
What?
We're going to talk about Corey here in a minute, but I have a bunch of starred questions that I want to ask you.
Okay, well, let's do that. That's more fun.
All right. Well, first, here's Corey's background. Quick general sum of my worst issues: bilateral, atypical, trigeminal
I know what that
neuralgia,
is. I know what that is.
and bilateral occipital neuralgia.
Oh,
I
poor
can't
thing.
remember 95% of my life, and I can only smell something once, and then it's blank.
That's a rough one. That's a rough condition. It's very painful. Very, very painful.
Wow. All right. Well, I mean,
There's always me saying, like, if I tell him this stuff now, is he even going to remember it anyway?
Write it down, Corey, quick. Like the movie Memento. We'll just do tattoos
No,
all over your
it's
body.
50 First Dates.
50 First Dates. There you go.
That's the one.
Yeah.
He's having trouble sleeping. Well, I don't know if he has a sleep regimen at all. But something that my problem is I lucid dream too much. So like all of my dreams are lucid, and I don't get very much rest when I don't
Sure.
take some kind of an aid to help me sleep. So I use something called pre-sleep. It's really, 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 really amazing, all natural, completely pure, carnivore friendly. It is L-theanine and magnesium. And it is not it's not a tranquilizer,
Right.
but the L-theanine is it crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it's very calming. It's a natural substance, and magnesium is super beneficial for sleep as well.
Oh, yeah.
So
I take magnesium glycinate every night.
That's what's in this. So I take that at night before I drink it. It's a drink, and it tastes delish, and I take that every night before I go to bed. But also the binaural beats that I was telling you about. There are frequencies that you can play that will get your brain to synchronize in delta, which is theta and delta are the two sleep state frequencies when they're dominant. And so if the place I would recommend you go for a real professional version of this is called the triadmind.com. Get the basic membership there, which will get you these tracks that I'm telling you about. It's like $5 a month or something. And play those, put some headphones in, wired or wireless. Everybody is going to yell about the wireless frequencies and all that, but you can listen to them either way. And it will bring your brain into delta so that you can fall asleep.
The triadmind.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My mother suffers from night terrors, which is bananas, where basically your brain doesn't put you into the paralytic state. And so she has a tendency to act out her dreams.
Mm-hmm.
She's been known to attack my father. She's been known to almost, jump through the window thinking that she was running away from something.
She stays in the hypnagogic state without hitting sleep paralysis.
Yeah. It's wild. There's a comedian, Mike Birbiglia, that suffers from the same thing. He has to sleep in a mummy sleeping bag, one of those, that goes all the way up and closes your head.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to put mittens on his hands so he can't get out.
So he's Kyle from South Park, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, Kenny.
Kenny from South Park when he goes to bed. Yeah, it's wild. He has to, when he requests, when he's on the road, he has to sleep on the first floor just in case something goes wrong, and he jumps out the window, which he's done before.
We don't want that.
No, we don't. All right. So the first question that we have starred is, what are your thoughts on psychedelics?
Okay. Psychedelics are proven to be wildly beneficial for many, many, many people when used properly. For veterans with PTSD and complex trauma, they have been life-changing. Ketamine therapy has done wonders. Even some of the more intense psychedelics like ayahuasca, DMT, and others, when used in a supervised and professional setting, have been very, very helpful for people who have survived this trauma. What I am not an advocate for is every Tom, Dick, and Harry running down to the jungles, doing some ayahuasca, thinking they're going to meet the Lord, and then like basically blowing up their life afterwards because and then searching for that over and over and over and over and over again. Because I can tell you, like, as somebody who has had certain experiences, you don't need psychedelics to get there. So for trauma informed patients, I think that they are very helpful. For the everyman walking around, I think that they have a very serious tendency to be abused by people who are searching for the feeling you get by having the experiences that you do when you're on a psychedelic, rather than for the healing properties that they can introduce.
Okay. Do you know what this means? Tracy, have you dealt with dual mushroom tinctures?
No, I've never taken psychedelics. Never.
Me neither.
Never in my life. So I haven't dealt with any of it.
Joe Rogan is a big proponent of them.
A lot of people are huge proponents of psychedelics for mental health.
Yeah.
I'm not against them. I just think that they're abused too much by people who are trying to replace they're trying to get to the feeling they're looking for without doing any of the real work to get there, when they're not trying to heal trauma.
Right.
I'll say that.
For sure. Beans, what are your thoughts on Dan Martell and Buy Back Your Time?
I don't
know what that means. Do you know what that is?
No.
Mm-mm. Okay. All right. Moving on. All right. Corey wants to know, what is your take on Kobe beef?
It's beef.
Yeah. All right.
I don't really eat Kobe beef, but I don't really have an opinion on it. It's beef.
Yeah, we went to a really schwanky restaurant for my 50th birthday, and we had the Wagyu, and I was like,
all Wagyu is not created equal.
Yeah.
Say that. If you ever have Japanese Wagyu, you'll see what I mean.
Okay, I think this was Australian.
Yep. It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. Still really, really, really tasty, but not Japanese Wagyu.
All right. And then last but not least, we have the enthusiast. Had dinner and brought up the carnivore thing to my wife, and she asked, won't you be deficient in certain vitamins if you go full meat?
Nope. Every single vitamin and mineral that your body needs is in the meat and the fat from the meat.
Really?
If you don't cook it well done and burn it all out.
That's heretic. That's heretic.
Well, I mean, I know.
If you do beef well done.
How many times did I tell you too, make sure you eat enough fat, because that's what until like your body's using that for fuel, and all the nutrients are in there. All of the nutrients that you need are in the meat. I have a graphic of the vitamin content of a ribeye steak. Hold on.
See, you guys were afraid you weren't going to learn anything tonight. Ha ha! Tricked you. You're learning all kinds of stuff.
Let's see.
Is it? I mean, are you allowed to do supplements if you wanted to? Like, is that okay?
You're allowed to do whatever you want.
Yeah, but I mean, does it fit into the whole?
A lot of people take supplements. Do they need to? No.
See, I guess that's kind of where my question, like, if I were to have you at my beck and call, being on all these medications prior to starting it, and now that I've shed all this weight and I'm feeling better, it's like, do I need to continue to take the high blood pressure medicines? Do I need to take the cholesterol medicine? Do
Nope.
I need to take?
No. Are you on statins?
No.
Dude, you don't need to be on statins, and you don't need to be on cholesterol medicine. And you're going to see your doctor's going to lose their because your cholesterol, when you get off those meds, is going to skyrocket, and your triglycerides are going to stay nice and low, and your cholesterol is going to be in the high 2s, and your LDL is going to be like in the hundreds somewhere, and your triglycerides are going to be like 40, and your HDL is going to be like 80. And your doctor's gonna be like, oh my God, your cholesterol is too high. And then all of a sudden, like a year into it, everything's gonna normalize out. Your ratios are gonna be beautiful. And you're gonna be like, statins are, I would look into statins and the detrimental effect they can have on your body. They are not the best medicine to be taking if you don't need. So
yeah, so like I basically have stopped taking the GL1s. I stopped. It wasn't omeprazole, it was something else, but I was taking for acid reflux. I don't take either one of those anymore.
Good.
I don't, and I even said to the nurse practitioner, I was like, are you sure I should be taking a cholesterol medicine? And I heard that cholesterol medications were really bad and that your brain actually needs cholesterol in order to function properly. My limited independent reach has said maybe I shouldn't be doing all of those things. I could be taking like omega-3s, fatty acids. Like that's a good idea to help with the whole cholesterol thing. Maybe I just do some supplements of some omega-3s. I don't know. And so here we are, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, there she is. All right.
That's not the one I wanted, but it'll do.
Okay. So anyway, that's the first question that I would have for you is like, how do you know when and how to get off of medications? Because again, going back to the whole big pharma thing, like, you know, the average person just goes to their doctor. The doctor says, all right, do this, take this, eat this, and I'll see you in a year for your annual screening, right? That's 100% what I am.
Statins can be hard. You have to wean off of certain medications. Like you might have to even wean off your blood pressure meds. You have to take you can send me the names of them and I can do the research to let you know, because I've helped a couple people do this. And you can always, when you go in to the next physical or when you go into the doctor, you can always ask them for what's called a CAC scan. And that basically will look at the plaque content in your arteries. It's a very quick and easy test. And it'll give you a score 0 to 5, and you'll know if your arteries are clogged, if they're not clogged. Oh, you're going to have to zoom in on that.
Is that better? Maybe?
Well,
no?
I can't. I can read it to people because it's small.
It's as big as I can get it.
Yeah, I know. It's a bad graphic. So it says here, there's 33% of the daily value of copper, 28% of the daily value of iron, 12% of the magnesium, 42% of the phosphorus, 14% of the potassium, 13% your daily value of selenium, 111% of zinc, choline, 31%, omega-3, 66 milligrams, vitamin K, vitamin E, vitamin D, vitamin B12, folate, vitamin B6, pantothenic acid, niacin, riboflavin, thiamine, vitamin A, calcium, I said already. That's all of the vitamins and minerals in a ribeye steak.
Yeah. The steak eater steak I had.
So, no, you won't be deficient in vitamins and minerals.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm. They're
the
literally...
more you know.
The more you know. Well, anything else before I jet? Because I have to go take care of my animals and feed my
no,
dogs.
I think that's it.
I'll come back though. We can do this again. This was fun.
You are awesome. You're really, awesome. Truly are. No,
remember
you are.
How important you all are. Every single one of you. There's no one person that's more important than anyone else. Aaron, I gave you like 4 examples of how you changed the world with just one simple act of kindness.
Well, we're doing it again this year, and it's going to be even bigger. We had when I went down to see you in South Carolina, I was actually meeting with a guy named Michael Keeve, Cars with Keeve, and he donated so much stupid equipment that we're gonna. It's this Pay It Forward campaign this year is. I'm a little bit daunted by how big it's getting. So anyway, Tracy, thank you so much for being here. I learned so much from you. You continue to be an inspiration to me.
You can
truly
text
the
me whenever
highlight.
you want.
Episode 65, like you're the highlight of 65 episodes, and just an amazing person, and continue to do good, and continue to be a light to the world. Who knows the impact that you've had on me, the impact that I've had on others. It's a ripple effect, and we are all in this together. So
Yeah, and Corey, I hope you feel better. It's Corey, right?
yep, Corey.
I know what you're dealing with. It's very, very difficult. God bless you for it's easy to focus on that and just let that be what it is, but it's tough. That's tough.
And he's one of the biggest supporters. He's in every podcast. I think, he's in all of, this is like a community. We branch out here, and then there's a series of podcasts on another channel. And this community kind of huddles together, and
that's community.
Really, truly a beautiful community that we're a part of.
I'm sending hugs to everyone.
And I'm so grateful that you are part of this community as well. So Tracy, thank you so very much. I would love to have you on again. You are very generous with your time, and I'm truly grateful for the human that you are.
Oh, thank you. It's my honor to be here. And thank you to Tim. He's been like a huge impact on my son, on me. He's beautiful, and we wouldn't know each other without him. So God bless you. Shine your light detailing, and have a good night.
Thanks. I'll see you later.
Bye.
All right. So I guess we'll just wrap this up. I will do the mental floss. How fantastic was she, huh? I'm serious. Like, what an absolute rock star. Hi, man. Curmudgeon's Corner, 65. Wow. It's a milestone for me. All right. Seriously, you guys are awesome. She's wow. She is just wow. All right, let's get this show started, shall we? Where are we? Nope. There it is. Boom. Share that. All right.
I got a fan letter from a young lady. It was a suicide note. So I called her. I said, "Hey, this is Jimmy Doohan, Scotty of Star Trek." I said, "I'm doing a convention in Indianapolis. I want to see you there." I saw her. Boy, I'm telling you, I couldn't believe what I saw. It was definitely suicide. Somebody had to help her somehow, and obviously she wasn't going to the right people, Anyhow, I said to her, I'm doing a convention 2 weeks from now in St. Louis. And 2 weeks from then in something, and then eventually she also came to New York. She was able to afford to go to these places and everything else. So, and then that went on for 2 or 3 years, maybe 18 times. And all I did was talk positive things to her. And then all of a sudden, nothing. I didn't hear anything. I had no idea what was happening because I really never saved her address, right? 8 years later, I get a letter saying, "I do want to thank you so much for what you did for me, because I just got my master's degree in electronic engineering." That's, to me, the best thing I've ever done in my life. And it brings tears to my eyes every time I even talk about the story.
Used car salesman Chris Conwell.
Okay. Thank you, Chris Conwell. It's an incredible story. That the greatest thing that this guy who has impacted the lives of hundreds of thousands of people, that was his most triumphant moment, was keeping somebody from the darkness. And I think that I think that that's an inspirational story for all of us. So again, from the Curmudgeon's Corner, it doesn't take any money to be kind and to take care of your fellow man, right? That's what we're here for. We've only got one shot at this, kids, so let's make it count. All right, let's go down to the Phoenix Rise from the Ashes Pay It Forward campaign. Honestly, that's the whole reason why we were able to have Tracy on the show. If it wasn't for the Pay It Forward campaign, I don't believe that our paths would have ever crossed. So you want to talk about divine intervention, talk to Tim from Shine Your Light Detailing. There we go. All right. So this is a QR code for the Help Us Ship Hope. We have a lot of stuff. It's our GoFundMe page. We need as many donations as possible to get this stuff out the door. We are a little over halfway of what I think that we're going to need, but we still got a long way to go. And we only got 2 months left to do it. So scan this, send us anything, a $5 donation, anything helps. It's Help Us Ship Hope. If you have any products or equipment or whatever it is that you want to donate, you can always send it to the Phoenix Rise from the Ashes Pay It Forward campaign. Send donations to Phoenix E.O.D, 404 Bloomfield Drive, Suite 1, West Berlin, New Jersey, 08091. If you would like to be a guest on Curmudgeon's Corner, or if you'd like to contact the show, drop us an email at thecorner@phoenixeod.com. We'll read your stuff on air and obviously get you scheduled to get on the show. You can follow us at Instagram.com at Curmudgeon's Corner Pod as soon as Eileen gives me the access to that account. Right now it's dormant. Burp, burp, burp. Suicide prevention and crisis counseling resources. If you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, seek help from a professional and call 988. The United States' first nationwide 3-digit mental health crisis hotline, 988, will connect callers with trained mental health counselors. You can also text HOME to 741-741 in the US and Canada to reach a crisis text line. And then you can also go to the apa.org/topics/crisis.hotlines to get in contact with any resources that you need for whatever it is that you're facing, be it physical, emotional, mental abuse, substance abuse, gambling problems, whatever it is, you are not alone. You need to reach out. I know I say that it's an impossible thing to do, but if it means keeping you here on the planet one more day, just reach out. Even if it is just to say, I need help. We got West Coast distribution, Adrian over at IamDetailedAF.com and Southeast distribution over at ShineYourLightDetailing.com/store. And then, of course, you can always go to the House of Rags everywhere you are. And I think that's about it. You know, I should have put down her stuff so that you guys could see how to follow her on X. She's very big on X. But Tracy Beanz, she should be a household name. Please go and support her. Please follow her on X. She's very active on X. She's just a real powerhouse, a force of good, and like an amazing woman. So I really appreciate everybody being here. Hopefully you learned something and you liked what you heard, and hopefully this is the direction that Curmudgeons continues to go in, bringing real people with real stories. As a matter of fact, our next episode is going to be November 8th, right after SEMA. And here's the thing, my dad is going with me to SEMA this year, so he's going to be my +1 in the booth. I want him to see kind of like the behind the scenes of what I'm doing and what we've been trying to accomplish here, and how I get ridiculed with my peers. And then we're taking the red eye home Friday night. We're taking the red eye home we arrive in Pittsburgh, like 8 a.m. or something like that. And then we're going to do Curmudgeon's Corner 66 from my dad's house in his office down in his basement. We're going to do Curmudgeon 66, and I'm going to kind of do a SEMA review from the eyes of my dad. So it's going to be a very, very, very special episode for me because it's my dad. And you guys get to see the man that made me who I am. Don't hold that against him. Anyway, until next time, everybody, I'm broken kind. Yeah. This is a good show, everybody. And thanks for being here on a Monday night at 8 o'clock. I look forward to seeing you on the corner in 2 weeks. Talk to you guys soon.